Hey, Emily, have you ever experienced that moment of panic when you're waiting for a package from AliExpress and suddenly the tracking just goes dark with tracking unavailable? It's like the package has entered some sort of postal Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, absolutely, Jake. It's like 1 minute you're eagerly anticipating the arrival of your goodies, and the next you're left wondering if your package has been swallowed up by a black hole. It's especially concerning because we rely so heavily on those tracking updates to know exactly where our package is at any given moment.
Right. And it seems like we're not alone in this. We've recently had packages stuck on this vague tracking unavailable status for days, which really got us digging into what this all means. So what have we found out about this mysterious status, Emily?
Well, Jake, when AliExpress says tracking unavailable, it essentially means that the seller has created a tracking number for the package, but hasn't actually shipped it to AliExpress yet. This leaves us recipients unable to track the package, which can be quite frustrating.
That's interesting. So it's not that the package is lost or anything. It's just that it hasn't been shipped to AliExpress yet. But why would a seller create a tracking number without shipping the package? That seems a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It does, Jake. But from what we've gathered, some sellers create tracking numbers well before they have the packages ready for shipping. In fact, there are scenarios where sellers only start working on customers' orders after they've received payment, despite indicating that the items are in stock on the AliExpress purchase page.
Ah, I see. So it's a bit of a waiting game then. But Emily, I'm curious, how long does AliExpress give sellers to ship a package after creating a tracking label?
AliExpress gives sellers 10 days to create a tracking label for the package and another 14 days after creating the label to actually ship the package. Some sellers use this time frame to their advantage, working on your order before the allowance expires. Interestingly, we've also seen cases where sellers replace the tracking numbers just before these 14 days are up, giving themselves more time to work on the package.
Wow, that's quite a leeway AliExpress provides. It definitely explains how a package can stay stuck on tracking unavailable for more than 2 weeks. But Emily, what happens if those 14 days pass and the package still hasn't been shipped?
If those 14 days pass without the package being shipped, the tracking label becomes invalid. However, if you try to track your package after this period, AliExpress's system will still show tracking unavailable. The good news is, if such 14 days pass, AliExpress's systems should automatically detect the non-shipping and process a refund to you.
That's somewhat reassuring, but it sounds like there might be some hiccups in that process. Have we noticed any issues with AliExpress detecting non-shipping within that 14-day window?
Yes, Jake. Over the past few months, we've observed that AliExpress's systems don't always detect non-shipping within the 14-day window, meaning recipients might have to wait longer for refunds. And in some cases, sellers create new tracking labels before the 14 days are over, as they work on extending the shipping days. This can lead to a lot of frustration when you're eagerly waiting for your package.
Definitely sounds frustrating, but it's good to know there are steps we can take if AliExpress doesn't refund us within that time frame. Emily, could you walk our listeners through what they should do in such a scenario?
Sure, Jake. If AliExpress doesn't refund you within 14 days after the initial shipping label was created, you should wait for the automatic confirmation of delivery and then file a non-delivery dispute. This typically happens between 60 and 90 days depending on your country. You can use the Order Details section to check when AliExpress automatically confirms your delivery and then file a dispute for non-delivery to get a refund. Having a screenshot of the tracking package showing tracking unavailable can serve as evidence that the package never shipped in the first place.
That's really helpful advice, Emily. It's great to know there's a recourse for situations like these. Now, I'm curious, have we come across any reasons why a seller might choose not to provide tracking information in the first place?
Actually, yes, Jake. One reason could be that the seller chose the cheapest shipping option, like economy or saver, which often means there's no tracking available for the package. If you've communicated with the seller and they've confirmed they shipped your package using these options, we recommend using third-party tracking sites like 17Track and ParcelSap for better details about your package's status.
That's a great tip, Emily. Using third-party tracking sites can definitely help alleviate some of the anxiety that comes with waiting for a package. Hey listeners, have you ever experienced tracking unavailable with your AliExpress packages? What did you do? We'd love to hear your stories. Share them with us on social media or through our podcast platform.
And if you're looking for more tips on how to navigate online shopping challenges, make sure to follow us here at Mailbox Corner. We're always here to share our experiences and help you make the most out of your online shopping adventures. Thanks for tuning in today, and remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single click.
Absolutely, Emily. It's clear that understanding the reasons behind tracking unavailable can save us a lot of stress. But I'm wondering, are there any other insights or tips we should share with our listeners about handling these situations?
Definitely, Jake. One key takeaway is to communicate with the seller directly if you encounter tracking unavailable. Often they can provide updates or explanations that aren't available on the tracking page. It's also a good idea to keep an eye on the time frame AliExpress allows for shipping. Remember, sellers have up to 10 days to create a tracking label and another 14 days to ship the package.
That's a great point. Patience is key, but it's also important to know your rights and the timelines involved. Now, Emily, for those who might find themselves in a situation where the tracking number becomes invalid, what would you recommend?
In cases where the tracking number becomes invalid, it's crucial to monitor the situation closely. If AliExpress doesn't automatically process a refund within the expected time frame, don't hesitate to file a non-delivery dispute. This is especially important since, as we've discussed, there can be delays in AliExpress detecting non-shipping.
Right, taking proactive steps can really make a difference. And about using third-party tracking sites like 17Track and ParcelSap, could you elaborate on how they can be beneficial for our listeners?
Sure, Jake. Third-party tracking sites can be incredibly useful when the seller opts for cheaper shipping options without tracking. These sites often have access to more detailed information about the package's journey, even when official tracking is unavailable. It's a great way to stay informed about your package's status without relying solely on the seller or AliExpress.
That sounds like a valuable resource. Keeping informed and taking the right steps can certainly help navigate the uncertainties of online shopping. Listeners, have you used third-party tracking sites before? What was your experience like? Let us know by leaving a comment on our social media or podcast platform.
And don't forget, staying informed and being proactive are your best tools when dealing with online shopping challenges. Whether it's tracking unavailable or any other issue, knowing how to respond can save you time and frustration. We're here to help guide you through these situations.